In the spring of 1970, a young woman's body was found dumped in a field, strangled with electrical wire. Her name was Jacqueline Ansell-Lamb. She was just 18 years old. 7 months later, another woman, 24-year-old Barbara Mayo, vanished while hitchhiking. Days later, her body was found, strangled in a forest. 2 women, the same year, the same method, the same motorway. And yet, more than 50 years later, we still don't know who did it. This is the story of the monster of the M1. Jacqueline Ansell-Lamb was the embodiment of a 60s free spirit, a bright, party-loving teenager who had just moved from London to Manchester for a secretarial job. The weekend of March 7th, 1970, she travelled to London with her flatmate Judy Langrish to attend a party at Earl's Court. Judy bought a return ticket. Jackie only got a one-way, planning to hitchhike home. After the party, Jackie stayed the night with a young man. On Sunday afternoon, March 8th, he dropped her off at Junction 4 of the M1. She was going to hitchhike 200 miles back to Manchester. Witnesses later recalled her outfit: a long navy maxi coat, shiny maroon shoes, a blonde wig, and false eyelashes. She carried a Japanese Airlines bag because the initial matched her name, J.A.L. Jackie shared one ride north to Buckinghamshire, then around 4 to 5 p.m, she was seen again at Keel services on the M6. Her final confirmed sighting was around 9:30 p.m. at Poplar's Truckers Cafe near Warrington. There, witnesses say she was with an unknown man, smartly dressed, white, in his 20s, wearing a dark suit. He ordered 2 coffees, sat with Jackie for 30 minutes, and then they both left in his car, possibly a white Jaguar. 5 days later, her body was found. She had been raped and strangled with electrical wire. Her belongings, including her JAL bag, were found nearby. Police launched a massive investigation, but leads were scarce. The man from the cafe was never identified. October 12, 1970, 7 months later. 24-year-old Barbara Mayo leaves her flat in Hammersmith, West London. She plans to hitchhike north to Catterick, North Yorkshire, to retrieve her boyfriend's car. 6 days later, her body is found in a wooded area in Ault Hucknall, Derbyshire, face down, raped, strangled, and beaten. Her coat was draped over her like a blanket. The scene mirrored Jackie's murder almost exactly. The similarities were impossible to ignore. Both women were young, travelling alone, hitchhiking north on a motorway, wearing long coats. Both were dumped off major junctions. Both had been sexually assaulted, strangled, and covered. Police now feared the worst. England had a serial killer on the loose. The press dubbed the killer the monster of the M1. Investigators formed a 100-person task force, with over 150,000 people were questioned and nearly 6,000 statements were taken. But leads were frustratingly thin. The killer left no fingerprints, no murder weapon, and no eyewitnesses. The only commonality was the method and the geography. There was talk of a serial killer targeting hitchhikers along England's motorways. Was he a lorry driver, a travelling salesman, someone familiar with the secluded areas near the roads? As the fear grew, so did the paranoia. Women stopped hitchhiking. The story became a warning tale, told to daughters across Britain, "Don't ever accept a ride from a stranger." The murder of Barbara Mayo sparked one of the largest investigations in British history. On October 26, police launched a massive motorway operation, blocking 150 miles of the M1. Every single car was stopped, every driver interviewed. It caused hours of traffic chaos, but police were desperate. Then, a break. A witness reported seeing a woman matching Barbara's description getting into a white Morris traveller van near Kimberley. It was just 20 miles from where her body was found. Police chased over 7,000 similar vehicles nationwide. Nothing. They also conducted a reconstruction of Barbara's last known movements, hoping to jog someone's memory. More than 120,000 people were interviewed. Still, no suspect, no motive, no closure. In the early 2000s, DNA testing was applied to old evidence from the Barbara Mayo case. It yielded a partial profile. Too weak for a direct match, but good enough for comparison. Dozens of suspects were reinvestigated, but then they were all cleared. The Jacqueline Ansell-Lamb case had even less forensic evidence. Time, moisture, and degradation had almost left nothing to test. Despite enhancements in forensic science, the killer's identity remained elusive. Both families endured decades of pain and uncertainty. Jacci's parents went to their graves without knowing who killed their daughter. Barbara's relatives continued to plead for answers, hoping that someone, anyone, will come forward with a forgotten detail or long-held secret. For the women of the 1970s, Jacci and Barbara's stories were reminders of vulnerability, trust, and violence. Their deaths marked the end of innocence for a generation that once believed in the freedom of the open road. The monster of the M1 was never caught, but his crimes reshaped Britain. Public opinion turned against hitchhiking, campaigns warned women of stranger danger. The motorway, once a symbol of adventure and escape, became associated with fear. For true crime historians, these unsolved cases are both a mystery and a mirror. They reveal not only a failure of justice, but also the limits of our memory, our media, and our systems. What happens when stories fade, but the killer lives on as another tale from the underworld?
If you enjoyed this true crime story, don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments.